35 years ago, I was a part of Operation Rescue. I participated in sit-ins in front of abortion clinics. Today, by the will of God, I'm sitting in the South Carolina Senate. My purpose then and my purpose now is largely the same. I consider it my Christian duty, by my words and actions, to be a witness, to testify to the humanity of the unborn child, who from the moment of conception is created in the image of God and endowed by their Creator with an unalienable right to life. You know, as a legislator, I have many duties and responsibilities. I sit on 5 different committees. I perform constituent service. We vote on things large and small. But from my first campaign for the South Carolina Senate to this day, if you ask me what is my #1 priority, it is to stop the killing of unborn children. And it doesn't matter whether I'm standing in the church pulpit or in front of a group of Republicans. It doesn't matter if I'm standing in front of the Chamber of Commerce when they ask me that question every year. They get the same answer. And so the question arises, why? Why is this such a big deal? Why does it rise to such a high level that, in my judgment, it should be the #1 priority of the legislature? And the answer is this. You've heard it. The right to life is the preeminent right among all rights, without which there is no other right. And so it must be the first duty of the civil government to establish and enforce just laws that protect innocent human life. Yeah. It's logical, it's simple, it's direct. Yeah. And at this moment in time, the only class of human beings whose right to life is not safeguarded in law is the unborn child. And so we must get it right. We must work to enact and enforce just laws that protect innocent human life. Now, that will not end abortions any more than other types of murder that go on from day to day. But here's the key. It will discharge our duty in this regard to honor God by bringing our civil law into alignment with God's moral law. Amen. 3 years ago, in June of 2022, the Supreme Court threw out Roe v. Wade. Immediately, the General Assembly called a special session to respond to that ruling, and within 2 months, the House of Representatives passed a bill outlawing almost all abortions and sent it to the Senate. And there, to my great, grievous disappointment, the bill failed. We failed in the South Carolina Senate. We had 3 chances, September, October, November of 2022, and we failed 3 times. I thank God that we have a heartbeat law that is saving thousands of lives, but we grieve for the failure of that stronger bill. And because of that, we continue to lose thousands of lives. Now, the good news is that in the 2024 primaries, 3 of the Republicans who voted against the stronger bill were defeated. Hallelujah. In addition, Republicans picked up 4 Democratic seats so that they now hold 36 seats in the South Carolina Senate. Folks, it only takes 26 to pass a law, even over a filibuster. It only takes 26. Now, the further good news is that Senator Verdon, who was here for most of this meeting and chairs the Medical Affairs Committee, has assured me that S323, the Unborn Child Protection Act, will be put into subcommittee this year. Now, his plan is to have us work after adjournment, which will take place on May 8th. And further, his plan is to probably have several subcommittee hearings in different portions of the state. And so I ask you to keep that subcommittee effort in your prayers. And it's part of a strategy that he believes is critical, and I agree with, Folks, look around at this number of people. I thank God for each person and child here. But folks, part of the reason that we failed in 2022 is the Senate didn't feel the heat. There are a lot of senators up there, people, that when it gets down to the hard choices and the hard bills, they're going to do the right thing because they fear not doing the right thing. And that is where we have to build a grassroots movement to pressure them to do the right thing when at times they don't want to.
That's right.
So in that vein, I want to encourage you before you leave to go upstairs and try to speak to your senator. Right above us on the second floor, you can fill out a little note and send it in to your senator and ask them to come out and speak to you at the rope. And if they do, just respectfully tell them that you're pro-life and ask them if they will support a stronger bill to bring an end to legalized abortion. Ask them that. If they give you an affirmative answer, then let them know that you want to encourage them to support Senator Cash's bill, which is, by your understanding, going to be put in a subcommittee very soon. And you can encourage them to come and talk to me if they have questions about it. Folks, this is a long, arduous, grinding process to go through subcommittee, full committee, to the floor of the Senate, over to the House, back to the Senate, conference committee, until you finally get a bill that both chambers sign off on and send to the governor. We are going to lead. That is our responsibility. But the people have to volunteer. The grassroots has to come alongside to encourage those senators who really don't necessarily share all the convictions that are being espoused here today, to encourage them to do the right thing. I want to thank Matt Clark and all my friends. I know all these people who've been speaking today for their participation, for you as well. I know you've been standing here a long time. But I will simply say this, I've been doing this for a long, long time, many decades. We can't get discouraged. It's a small number here. I wish there were thousands of people here, friends, literally. The leaders have to lead, the people have to volunteer, but always remember, we are trusting in God for the spiritual victory. It is God who's going to give this victory. I don't know how or when it comes about necessarily, but we are beseeching Him. It is His right arm that will bring this to pass. Thank you very much.